Welcome. In this video we will list down top 12 best places to live in Nevada. Nevada is the state of contrasts. With vast expansive desert spanning much of the state, we find a stark contrast nestled away in what you think would be a quiet corner of this western region. At the southernmost tip of Nevada, we find the lavish, luxurious and outrightly lair, Las Vegas. Although the idea of living anywhere remotely near the party capital of the world would be a worse nightmare for many people, you should not for 1 minute let this put you off moving to Nevada. The truth is Nevada is a rich and varied state, home to 2.9 million people. There is so much more to Nevada than Las Vegas. Lake Tahoe, Red Rock Canyon, and Valley of Fire are all just waiting to be explored. The weather in this part of the world is far more agreeable than that of, say, Alaska, surely another box ticked next to Nevada's name. When it comes to finding a new home, there is a lot to take into consideration. Aside from the quality and affordability of your potential home, things like access to public schooling, job opportunities and crime rates all have to be factored into the decision-making process. With all this in mind, and a few other factors that get frequently overlooked, we have created a comprehensive list of the 10 best places to live in Nevada. Number 12. Indian Hills. On the south side of Carson City, in Douglas County is the cozy neighborhood of Indian Hills. Property here is fairly priced. On average, a family home will cost $198,000. At a closer look, there are properties on the market with 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a private driveway and double garage for $387,000. In Indian Hills on Valley Crest Drive, for example, a home closer to the neighborhood average costs $293,000, seeing you gain a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom family home, close to a number of good schools. There are 11 public schools in Indian Hills, and given that the population of the area is just 6,100, that provides parents with ample schooling options. Number 11. Spring Valley. Spring Valley is a neighborhood situated in the southwest corner of Las Vegas City. This urban neighborhood is home to Nevada's most diverse group of residents, a population of 186,000 people. Being a suburb of Las Vegas, you can forgive that the cost of rent is above the national average. That said, at $1,050 a month, on average, it is a reasonable price to pay given the proximity to wondrous Las Vegas and the job opportunities that it brings. Local people are quick to exclaim about how great of a neighborhood Spring Valley is to live in. It seems they are welcoming of development in the area and comment that the suburb has a promising future. Number 10. Kingsbury. Stately by name and stately by nature, Kingsbury is one of the more affluent areas of Nevada. Although the median household income is little above the national average at $64,000, this is somewhat disproportionate to the median home value of $405,000. In reality, houses that are on the market here in Kingsbury are fetching upwards of $800,000. Many coming in upwards of $1 million. Being on the southeastern edge of Lake Tahoe, it is not hard to understand why property prices are sky high. Kingsbury is the first place on our list, so far, that is considered truly rural. Perhaps this too can explain the 7-figure price tags. Number 9. Minden. Minden is what is known as an unincorporated town, meaning it is not governed by a local municipal corporation. With 3,100 people calling the town home, there is nothing unincorporated about the community here. Only a 30-minute drive from Lake Tahoe, opportunities to get active and outdoors are in no short supply from a base in Minden, just an hour from Reno 2, creating endless options for those willing to commute to work or want to be close to the city lights. Real estate in Minden is far from abundant, with 67% of people living in owned homes. A lack of properties on the market can be taken as a reflection of resident satisfaction. Very few want to fly the coop. Number 8. Spanish Springs. If you are seeking a new home in order to raise a family, then it seldom gets better than Spanish Springs here in Nevada. The population of 15,700 people who call Spanish Springs home are certainly higher educated than most other areas in the state. It, therefore, comes as no surprise that the median household income is over $20,000 a year higher than the national average, with children and young people accounting for 20% of the population. There are suitable educational provisions in place, 32 public schools from elementary level right up to high school, all offering a high-quality schooling experience. The neighborhood has a diverse group of residents termed socioeconomic background. This surely contributes to the residents' high satisfaction levels. Number 7. Mogull. The small and cozy town of Mogull is a rather rural area of Nevada, lying on the western side of Reno City. Connected by Interstate 80, there are options for city workers who are willing to commute. Mogull is halfway between Verde and Reno, so if Verde was appealing but the commute to Reno too far, then Mogull is literally and metaphorically a happy medium. There are 1,300 people who live in Mogull, creating a strong community feel. The neighborhood is perfect for those who would consider themselves outdoorsy folk. Public schools in Nevada as a whole are performing well above national average, and none so true of Mogull. This town may be small, but there are 21 public schools for parents to choose from. Number 6. Sparks. In Washoe County is the city of Sparks, home to 93,400 people who are all in agreement that the city is a wonderful place to live. One major plus point for Sparks is the median home value. At $184,100, Sparks is one of the most affordable places to buy property in Nevada. Median rent is also right on the national average, so for those looking to become a tenant in Nevada, Sparks would be worth some thought. Local people comment on how safe the area is and that there are ample facilities and opportunities to socialize. Being just a short drive from downtown Reno, there is an overflow of entertainment outlets here in Sparks: casinos, cinemas, and restaurants galore. Number 5. Enterprise. Enterprise is an area proving ever popular with millennials, and as such we can expect to see the population of 125,000 people boom in the next decade or so, providing more infrastructure and amenities. No doubt, house prices in Enterprise are above the national average but on par with the rest of the state. A 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom family home fetches $259,000. That said, with all this millennial interest, now is the time to invest here in Enterprise, before interest hits peak level and house prices skyrocket. There are 84 public schools in the neighborhood, all of which are performing in line or better than the requirements set by the government. A number of schools are specialist academies. The variety of educational facilities in Enterprise is another bonus. Number 4. Verde. Although Verde is often overlooked by those scouting for a new home in Nevada, it is certainly worthy of consideration. Home to just 1,500 people, there is a strong community feel here, a village-like ethos despite its suburban categorization on paper. Residents note that the only real crime is the occasional DUI, which in the grand scheme of things should not be an influential issue for those looking to invest in property in Verde. Public schools in the area are outstanding, 25 schools in total, the top 5 of which have an E rating. The median household income is $66,429, so unlike Incline Village, Verde is far from an exclusive neighborhood. Homely and welcoming, there is a lot to love in Verde. Number 3. Henderson. Close enough to Las Vegas to get in on the action should you want, but just far enough away to keep away from the chaos, is the city of Henderson. This is a really interesting place, home to the Clark County Museum, the Lion Habitat Ranch and Lake Mead too. There are 271,700 people who call Henderson home, a resident population who note that having access to both Las Vegas and Summerlin provide good options for those willing to commute for work. Compared to other cities in Nevada, Henderson can share a fantastically low set of crime statistics, giving peace of mind to any newcomer. Property prices in Henderson are back on track, having looked at Incline Village. Median home value is $219,000. Number 2. Incline Village. If the big little city didn't take your fancy, then surely Incline Village will appeal. Right on the banks of Lake Tahoe, surrounded by the famous Nevada pines, there is so little to find fault within this ski village. Perhaps there is one thing: property prices. A staggering $712,500 is the average home value here in Incline Village, and to tell the truth, you'll seldom get change from $1 million. Well worth it though. Homes here have a chalet feel, wooden clad and surrounded by evergreens. Incline Village may only have a resident population of 8,700 people, but there are ample amenities in place. Public schools here are some of the very best in the state. Number 1. Reno. The biggest little city in the world is the adopted slogan of our best place to live in Nevada, Reno. Much of the city falls along Humboldt-Toyabe National Forest, which feeds into Yosemite National Park. Skiing, hiking, fishing, you name it, it's all available here. Let's get back to the facts. Property prices in Reno are very reasonable when you consider the desirability of the area, access to outdoor activities and working opportunities too. On average, a family home will call for an investment of $210,000-$40,000 above the national average. Not bad. There are 76 public schools in Reno, so parents have a good amount of options for educating their children, many of which are performing above national expectations.